Let's take a quick look at the curve node found in the node editor. So I'm just going to come over to Edit Nodes and open up the node editor. Come over to Add Node, Gradient, and I'll choose Curve. I'm also going to go ahead and drop a standard gradient node as well. And let's take a quick look at the gradient node, and then we'll take a look at the curve node, just so we can see that a lot of the attributes are the same. So I'm going to hop over to the gradient options, and we can see that we've got a background color, and we've got an envelope for that background color. We've got blending modes that we can choose. We've got an input parameter list that we can choose from, and of course the input parameter is right here so that we can input flows into the input parameter background color and blending mode to have more options than what we have listed here. Okay, we've got color, alpha, position, and curve type, and what we can do is drop as many keys as we want, adjust the color on those keys, adjust the alpha on the keys, adjust the position, and the type of curve between the keys. So when we go over to the curve node, we'll see pretty much the same options, but we have even more control in the curve node. So I'm going to go ahead and close that down. We'll just slide that to the side, and we're just going to take a look at this, but I'm going to go ahead and plug it into color. It doesn't really matter because we're just going to look at the options. I'm going to double click, and I've got the curve node full screen so that we can really see what's going on. You can always size it to any size you want, and so that way you can see what's going on with your input here with background color input and blending, and of course your output with your color and alpha. But I'm going to go ahead and make that full screen just so we can really check out what's going on. Okay, so let's just make sure that we have all the options that we're used to with the gradient, which is the background color. Yep, we can change the RGB values here, or we can just click and choose a color that we want for the background color. We can also envelope that background color. We can come over to the blending modes and choose between the blending modes here, or again, we can go back into the node editor and flow additional nodes into the blending input channel to control that. We've got our input parameter, what's going to control the gradient, whether it's going to be based on the x coordinate, y, z, slope, or incidence, or if you want to drive it, have a weight map drive that, just plug a weight map right into weight map node right into the input parameter. We also have some edit options. We can set keys, we can stretch those keys, we can pan around our node here, and we can zoom in and out of our node. Okay, and let's go ahead and just start working with some of this. So what I'm going to do is we've got our first key for our channels, our red, green, and blue channels right here. So they're all sharing the same value, which is 0, and the same position, which is 0, which of course we can use the mini sliders to adjust, and we can also set an envelope for that so that we can animate it. Okay, we've got our curve type here. Okay, very similar to what we saw in the gradient node. And then we've got the locked control points. It's the handles for the curves. So we have further refinement of those curves. So right now, red, green, and blue channels are selected. Alpha is not. We can see our alpha channel right here. Set at 1, so we've got 100% visibility, and we can also set multiple keys for that, so we can change the visibility over the, right now the x coordinate. We can change that to incidence if we want. Right now let's just kind of focus on adjusting the keys. So if I come over here and select the keyframe tool, I can set multiple keys. Okay, I'm going to take that off, so I'm disabling the keys to create keyframes, and I can still just click and move this around so that I can adjust it. We can see what's going on with our gradient right down here. Now if we want to add another key, nothing stops us from deciding, yeah, I want a key about right here. I can just click right here. It's going to pop open the color options here so that I can decide, well, maybe I want it to be exactly this value, and I can click OK. It creates a key, and we can see that value represented here. Now if you want, you can go in, well, let's go ahead and adjust these handles so we have further control here. If you want, you can turn off lock, so you can go and adjust one of the handles instead of both of the handles, or we can change it to Bezier, and we can just adjust this one using the Bezier curve instead of a Hermite curve, or linear step, or whichever one you want to work with. Okay. Now, right now we've been adjusting both all red, green, and blue channels at one time, but I can just adjust the blue, and if I want, I'll just select all of them. I'm just left-clicking and dragging and selecting all of them, and I'm just going to move them down, and you can see that our color is changing right down here in this bar. Okay, and I'm just going to adjust, say, this key in the green channel and go up to the red channel and adjust these two keys. Okay, nothing stops me from selecting multiple keys and using stretch to stretch the value. So I'm left clicking and adjusting the value, or I can hold down Control and left click and adjust the position. Okay, the position on the gradient. Okay, so I can also select all three channels, select whatever keys that I want, use the stretch. Again, with the left click, I'm left clicking and dragging, and I'm changing the value. If I hold down Control, I'm left clicking and dragging with the Control held down, and I'm adjusting the position of all the keys that are selected. Okay, so I'll just unselect that and come over here and just adjust this. And again, if I want to, I can select alpha, okay, and select and create some keys and adjust the visibility of the gradient for each key. So if you have 1, it's going to be visible. If you have 0, it's going to be transparent. It's going to be, and so 1 is opaque and 0 is transparent, so you can control the visibility. So just another option for working with gradients in the node editor. A lot more control with being able to adjust these handles and being able to go in and work on each channel, the RGBA, the red, green, blue, alpha, right inside the node editor in the curve node.